In this episode of The Christian Philosopher, we'll talk about why Marian apparitions are the ninth reason to think that Christianity is true. Welcome back, everyone. Scott Sullivan here from the Aquinas School of Theology and Philosophy. I've been making a series of videos called 10 Reasons to Think that Christianity is True. This is the ninth reason, or the ninth video in this series. I've been building what I call a cumulative case for the truth of Christianity. And in prior videos, we have seen that not only did Jesus Christ claim to be God, and if he wasn't right about that, then he was lying or crazy. Not only did he back up that claim by fulfilling prophecy, not only did he back up that claim by rising from the dead, not only did the religion that he preached spread rapidly, improbably, and peacefully across the world, just like he predicted it would. Not only did he leave a miraculous picture of his resurrection in what we call the Shroud of Turin, not only does Jesus still continue to work miracles in our day when we talk about scientifically validated miracles, not only does the science of near-death experiences suggest that the nature of the afterlife, the nature of the human afterlife, is like what Jesus taught, and not only do we have credible evidence that demons are real, just like Jesus taught, but here in the ninth reason, we're going to look at some evidence that Mary, that is the mother of Jesus, the mother of God, the Theotokos, as she's called in Greek, the God-bearer, how she has miraculously appeared to large groups of people. So we are talking about here the argument from Marian apparitions. And I know maybe a lot of people think, oh, that's just this a Catholic thing, and the Catholic just kind of throws these ideas around easily of Marian apparitions like, they just happen all the time. Actually, the truth is that the Catholic Church is very careful about approving these Marian apparitions. They have certain criteria that they use. There has to be a significant probability that something miraculous has occurred, and the people reporting the experience, they have to be of sound, upright, moral character. So they don't throw around these approved apparition things around very easily. They don't approve these apparitions very easily, is what I'm trying to say. So there are several of those apparitions. We're going to look at one for the sake of time. I'm talking about the apparition of Our Lady of Fatima in Portugal back in 1917. And if you don't know the story, just to briefly summarize it, there were three Portuguese children at that time, Lucia, Jacinta, and Francisco. They've been reporting that they have been seeing the Virgin Mary. And then word got out, and more people started coming to the area. On August 19th, 1917, the children said that they saw her for the fourth time, and that she told them that something big was going to happen. An extraordinary miracle was going to happen on October the 13th, 1917. Again, I'm just giving you a summary here. You can Google this and see more. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube about this, but just giving you a summary here. But so anyway, these kids say they've been seeing the Blessed Virgin Mary, and these sightings have been happening, and then people start kind of creating a buzz, really. And then this last time, the fourth time, these kids said that the Blessed Virgin Mary said, hey, come here on October 13th. Something big's going to happen. So word gets out, and a crowd of approximately 50,000 people. 50,000 people show up. And you can look at the pictures of this, again, on Google. You can see these pictures because news crews were there from that time. So 50,000 people show up. And not just believers either. There are a lot of skeptical people, unbelievers, doctors, scientists, curiosity seekers, attorneys. A lot of people came to see what was going to happen on October 13th, that the Blessed Virgin Mary was going to do something, make something big happen. So a lot of people were curious. It had been raining that day, but then it started to clear up a little bit. And at that point, Lucia, one of the three kids, said, look up at the sun. And then according to witnesses, the sun began to move. The sun began to move. It began to spin on its own axis and change colors. This terrified the crowd of 50,000 people. And it said that the sun came to crash down on the earth. So that was pretty frightening. And as the sun came down, it actually dried the earth. So the ground had been wet from the rain, but the sun started moving, spinning on its own axis, came crashing down. People freak out. and the ground was wet prior to that because it had been raining. And then when the sun went back to its normal position, the ground was dried. And not only did the present crowd, reports show that not only did the present crowd see this, like just in a small area, but other people saw it up to 40 kilometers away. So something big happened in the sky. This sun danced, as they say, came down to the earth and dried up the ground. It was visible for 40 kilometers away. There have been a lot of books written on this. One was written by an Italian priest, John de Marchi. He spent 7 years investigating this event at Fatima, and he interviewed hundreds of witnesses, and he could not find a single witness who denied what happened, who denied that, something weird happened with the sun and it came down and dried the ground. And he has recorded his findings in the 1956 book, The Immaculate Heart, The True Story of Our Lady of Fatima. So this event is obviously very difficult to explain by natural causes. So we have these three kids who say they're talking to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Then they say the Blessed Virgin Mary told them something big's going to happen on October 13th. A whole bunch of people come, different sorts of people, skeptics, unbelievers, news crews, scientists, whatever, okay? Draws a huge crowd, 50,000. And then this, what do you want to call it? This strange, obviously it wasn't, literally the sun crashing on the earth or the earth would have been destroyed, but some strange atmospheric event was witnessed by all of these people that everybody could see, that again, up to 40 kilometers away. So what it seems like we have here is some kind of prediction of a miraculous event, and then 50,000 witnesses show up, and then something happens that nobody nobody denies. So what might be a natural explanation for this? Well, some people have suggested that, maybe it was a kind of a mass hallucination, right? Maybe a bunch of, uneducated, gullible, believers show up and they kind of have all of this, they expect to see something in some kind of mass hallucination. But that won't work, right? Because there were a large number, of skeptics, unbelievers, scientists and stuff. They weren't really all gullible believers. Moreover, as we said, the phenomenon did dry up the ground. That's something that a hallucination can't do. So the point here is that given all of this, it is reasonable to think that we have a widely observed miraculous confirmation of the children's claim that they were speaking to the Blessed Virgin Mary. And if it's reasonable to think that, right, even if you don't believe it, it's reasonable to think it. If a bunch of people saw it, nobody contradicted it. If it's reasonable to think that Mary, the mother of Jesus, is appearing and talking to people, we have yet another reason to think that Christianity is true.